crypto. So we have a window into how this custodian ended up collapsing. Basically, they ended up at one point. So initially, they had their own crypto wallets that they were managing on behalf of customers. They ended up moving over to Fireblocks and having Fireblocks manage all their wallets. Except they had this concept of legacy wallets, which were basically their old wallet systems. And for some reason, Fireblocks didn't have certain flexibility they wanted. And so they were creating throughout 2022 some of these old legacy wallets using their old system. But it turned out these legacy wallets were not being persisted or something. And so they essentially were creating these wallets on their own interfaces, but they did not actually have the private keys to these wallets. And so they were telling people, yes, we created a new wallet for you and your Bitcoin is over here according to our internal ledger, but they did not have any of the crypto. And so when they realized this, they were like, oh shit, we don't have the money that we keep telling our customers we have. Let's go use our cash deposits, which are being given to us by customers who are depositing fiat in their custodian. And let's use that to buy the crypto that we don't have to give people withdrawals and kind of keep the party going. So this looks like just a total complete circus. So they're down
$85 million in cash liabilities and like 69 mil in crypto liabilities, but the crypto is almost 1-to-1 and it's almost all Audius tokens. The rest is like some Bitcoin and stuff like that. But yeah, they only have 3 mil in cash and so they're like 82 mil short. And so yeah, it's like, where did the money go? Maybe it was all lost in sort of trying to buy back the crypto that they lost. But yeah, also, I mean, their custodian should have insurance. Jeez. So like the whole thing seems very goofy to me.
The bigger issue here, beyond not getting hacked, because in essence, they got hacked. I mean, they didn't get hacked. They lost the assets. But like there's the assets go into the black hole, and then there's the cover up, which is the consequence of it, right? Like if Coinbase somehow had assets go into a black hole, which it always could, right? Like there's no guarantee that any custodian can keep all of the assets completely safe at all times. If the assets go into the black hole, you're basically saying you would trust them not to cover it up and lie about it and fraud it. And so the real problem here that I see with Prime Trust is not, it's hard to safeguard assets because it's extraordinarily hard to safeguard assets, right? Even as a custodian, it's how they handled it, which is like the truly like disappointing thing. Like it's so hard to safeguard assets. It's hard for individuals. It's hard for businesses. It's hard for custodians whose job it is. Like it's just hard, right? It's hard for exchanges. How many exchanges have lost assets? Mt. Gox lost assets, right? Like Quadriga probably lost assets. It's like there's so many instances of people losing crypto assets because keeping them safe is extraordinarily complicated. And from there, it separates into the good guys who own up to it and the bad guys who cover it up and dig themselves deeper, trying to make it all back somehow. My takeaway from this is I always go back to first principles. This is yet again one of the reasons why DeFi has the long-term advantage, because if a DeFi protocol somehow black holed assets, everybody would know right away. And there would be no ability to cover it up. There would be no fraud. There's radical transparency, and this would not happen with a smart contract.
If you enjoyed this clip, watch the full episode now on Unchained.